Since New Year's, Kaylee Klein's story has been featured all across the country, here on MTN and even Inside Edition. But a new report released by the Park County attorney questions some of those events Klein said happened that fateful night. Just Tuesday, the CEO of Target, Brian Cornell, said he expects grocery prices to rise within the next couple of days. But we wanted to see how local shoppers here in Montana would be impacted by those tariffs. Believe it or not, but I'm not actually standing in front of a real historical house. It's actually the newest exhibit here at the Museum of the Beartooths, pioneers of the Stillwater County area, portraying life on the frontier. Behind me is about 2,000 loads worth of snow that employees from the city of Billings have gathered. Medical students with Rocky Vista are learning the basics to stings and bites with Montana animals, including furry creatures like this, the tarantula. Thousands of fans have come here to Davis Stadium to watch football games over the years. Starting in September, it won't just be the boys competing here. In fact, you might see all girls teams battling it out across the field.
I feel safe and loved and cared for.
Okay. That was from a FaceTime call this morning with Donna Prescott, about 24 hours after Billings police reported her missing from Aspen Meadows Health and Rehabilitation. Would you say that you came to South Dakota on your own free will?
Yes.
Donna claims she wasn't kidnapped at all. Instead, Donna says she chose to go with her daughter, Tamala Ray Donnelly, and her son, Kid Donnelly, on her own free will. But that situation was a long time coming.
Now my life is on hold and I can't go back home to work until I can get some family time with my mom.
That interview clip was filmed the week after Easter. On Easter Sunday, Lorraine claims she went to visit her mother before getting kicked out of the senior living facility and banned for a year.
Legally, I understand they can't restrict visitors, and that's 100% what's happening right now.
Lorraine says the nursing home restricted her from visiting, claiming she was abusive to her mom. MTN has been unable to confirm those allegations with Aspen Meadows. Since then, Lorraine says she's only been able to visit her mother once, carefully supervised by staff. MTN has reached out to Aspen Meadows numerous times for either an in-person interview or a comment, by phone, by email, and here in person. All of those requests were either denied or left unanswered. Billings police say Kid and Tamala Ray are non-guardian family members, meaning they didn't have the right to take Donna out of the facility. On June 1st, Lorraine had medical power of attorney over her mother switched over. We spoke with BPD earlier, who confirmed if this documentation was provided, it may change the outcome of the investigation, and Lorraine would likely not be facing kidnapping charges. But for now, Donna remains missing and kidnapped, according to police. The Billings Police Department, Donna, are saying that Lorraine and Kit have kidnapped you. Is that true?
No way.
A messy situation still unfolding with many questions left to be answered. In Billings, Mack, Carmack, MT News. It was here on Highway 47, just about 5 miles north of Hardin, where 9 dogs were found. Luckily, 5 were able to be rescued, but unfortunately 4 were victims of this busy highway. It's a sight no one wants to see.
That's an epidemic for sure.
Dogs left for dead on the side of the road.
They were pretty terrified and fractious when they came in yesterday.
The surviving dogs with muddy paws and matted hair were saved by Freckles and Tomcat Rescue.
I mean, we suspect that it was a breeder because they're all, 1 to 2 years old, and, who has 9 poodles?
It's not a new problem. Just 2 months ago, MTN reported a similar story with 10 puppies, likely left by a backyard breeder.
Perhaps that's why the dogs are getting dumped now, because every rescue is so full. Every shelter is so full.
Just look at these dogs, folks, and see if you recognize them in somebody else's backyard and turn them in. These people need to be prosecuted.
The 5 dogs are now happy and safe at the Animal Care Center in Hardin. On Thursday, the dogs received their vaccinations and are ready for their haircuts.
You sweetie pie.
They seem awfully friendly. There's a couple that are a little standoffish, but for the most part, they seem awfully friendly.
But it'll be a while before these dogs go to their permanent home.
These dogs were so traumatized that we have to be even more careful with them and letting them decompress.
As the memories of their lost siblings lay motionless just a few miles down the road.
It's terrible.
In Hardin, Mack, Carmack, MTN News. Treasures Out West is open for business.
What's in here as far as vehicles are all my own personal collection.
Lamps to wheels to Montana merchandise. Upon stepping into Treasures Out West, visitors are automatically transported to life on the frontier.
It's a part of the American West. It's the roots of America. How all the settlers moved from that eastern area, St. Joe, Missouri, to this country, all happened with what I work with.
The museum is owned by wagon enthusiast and YouTube star David Engel, a dream that started last summer with hopes of expanding in the future.
This isn't near big enough. I'm beginning to realize that fairly quickly.
Everything transportation related in this museum is from Dave's personal collection, dating back to the 1970s when he began building and restoring old wagons.
This is a project that I got involved with in the beginning of 2014, and it is a project that has never been done before. These wagons were built in the early 1880s, and no one has ever rebuilt these since.
Just across the street is Dave's workspace, where the rest of his collection sits and where he films his YouTube videos.
People watch this project, and then they can come and actually stand next to it and touch it and see it hands-on, firsthand, of what they watched on their television. So it's the connection of the two.
As long as Dave has been working on these wagons, his brother-in-law Rick Bischoff has been restoring carriage and early automobile lamps, also featured in the museum.
The only thing that isn't represented here are hearse lamps, but everything from, buggies and small carriages to larger carriages.
The two exhibits work in harmony with one another, transporting visitors to a time before cars and modern electricity.
Just the fact that, some of this machinery that I have used is really cool to see here that Dave has got a special spot for it, honoring me by doing that.
Everything we drive today relates back to this era. That's where it all started.
In Joliet, Mack, Carmack, MTN News. Chris Spangen has 1,600 acres of beautiful land.
I just like trekking around out here too.
Her ranch west of Billings is the perfect place for her fast-paced life. Chris loves to fish, hunt, and raise animals.
That's right. I'm a fly angler and a bird hunter, and also do a little big game hunting.
But it was here on her ranch on a snowy Sunday morning in January when her life was literally flipped upside down.
It happened so fast. I'm not sure how it all started, but I ended up on the ground, face down, and looked for my phone.
On that fateful day, Chris was on her daily walk with her 3 English setters. Her eldest dog stepped into Bison territory and the animal attacked.
At that point, I just laid there and I knew I better just not move at all. And just thinking, what do you do if a grizzly bear attacks you? You play dead. So I figured I better just play dead.
After the attack, Chris tried to crawl away but was attacked yet again by 2 bison. She was left with broken ribs, broken vertebrae, a split lip, a gash on her leg, and a dislocated shoulder. Chris was transported here to the Intermountain Health Emergency Department, where she encountered quite a few familiar faces.
And I remember Barry going, "Hey Chris, it's Barry."
Chris was rushed into surgery, operated on by her former colleague, Dr. Barry McKenzie.
I have to admit, there was definitely a little bit more pressure to be able to go with that, and she added her comments too.
And believe it or not, Dr. Spangen even shared her own opinions about how to perform the surgery before being given anesthesia. Regardless, it worked.
It's very important to feel comfortable with your caregivers, which I did.
Chris credits collaboration from the team at St. Vincent's with her recovery. Because of the severity of her injuries, getting back to full health is easier said than done.
It takes longer than you think.
But Dr. Spangen is just happy to be alive, back on the road to recovery.
That's why we do what we do, to try to get you back to your life after probably one of the worst things, if not the worst thing that is probably going to happen to you.
In Yellowstone County, Mack, Carmack, MTN News. As humans, we avoid talking about death and cancer.
One of the hard parts about cancer is that first conversation when you say, I have cancer.
It's sad, anxiety-provoking, and makes us realize life is temporary.
I think at the end of the day, each and every one of us are human.
But addressing those fears and anxieties has helped this group of cancer patients, cancer survivors, and their family members.
Having gone through cancer together really does bring you closer to people, even though you may not be related. It's still a family.
Rhonda Eady was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 years ago. 25 chemo sessions and 2 surgeries later, she's cancer-free. But that doesn't mean cancer has left her life.
But I've learned that talking about cancer and talking about your journey is something that others need to hear and maybe want to hear. And in a way, it helps you.
Rhonda attends these bi-weekly meetings with 9-year cancer survivor Tom Home.
We all need the support that we can get from others to help us.
I've missed very few of them. Met a lot of great people.
Tom was diagnosed with gastric cancer in 2016. He miraculously survived 6 months of chemotherapy and surgery and now lives life without a stomach.
My advice to just about anybody that'll listen is, if something doesn't feel right, go see your doctor and get it checked out.
Tom says talking about his trauma at these support group meetings has been helpful for others as well as himself.
I would encourage anybody to come and give it a try. And if it's not the right thing for you, you lost an hour of your time.
For all of the patients and survivors of this group, they say these 2 hours of the month make those hard conversations and death a little less scary.
All the individuals in general within the group, everyone's so vulnerable sharing their cancer journey, but to see those relationships built amongst one another and the casual conversations and the everyday humor, laughter that's added to the group, it's very rewarding.
In Billings, Mack, Carmack, MTN News.